and they were both excited about going there. Sorry, have you come across any of this on social media?
No,
Do
I
you know of
have not.
whom I'm speaking of?
No, caller, I have not.
Okay. Just Google, or you can go on YouTube and type in Ashley, ASHLEE, Jenny, JEANE, death in Tanzania. Now, try for me. This thing about love, right? Love. Love for your love. Love is love. Love has no identity. Well, try. Now, this have a big question mark for me because, you see, try, we have to start asking questions, try. Question like, how do they see us? How do we see them? There's a movie that came out some years back where 5 young boys were arrested in New York. I can't remember the title of them. The movie I think was When Do They See Us? Or something like that, where the police arrested these. A murder was committed, Troy. And I think was 5 young boys was arrested. 5 African young boys were arrested, and they were forced to make statements separately from each other. You know how the system in America keeps Africans. I mean, try if you begin to scratch the depths of the you know, I can't even find the words right now, try. But anyway, let me just focus on this young lady who was unalive in Tanzania. Try, if you see any of clips on social media, this young girl was so full of life. And to come to this sudden ending of her life on a vacation, it is staggering. But you see, Troy, there's a lot of things that we are not paying attention to, Troy. And for me, on my spiritual path that I'm on right now, I have a lot of questions that, Troy, you yourself is not even ready for, even if you begin to consider them. Because, Troy, believe it or not, we are all not human on this planet. Let me repeat this, Troy. We are all not human walking on this planet today. I mean, you know that they are capable of cloning, but this is beyond cloning, Troy. We also have what we call shapeshifters. And Troy, you're not ready for this. And you're not alone who are not ready for this, Troy. There are shapeshifters walking amongst us today. We're dealing with principalities in high places where flesh warring against spirit. I mean, our energy are subdued in the system of 9 to 5. Our energy are being drained in the system of 9 to 5 try. I'm in it because I have to go. But you see, it also put me on a different level of vibration. But try, I've always said, right, everything is skewed against us as a collective. We. And we have to start looking not in hate or animosity, try, but we have to know what we know. And when you know, try, you cannot unknown. When you know, you don't have to believe. Because belief has kept us in a box, or a book, if you will. It is time to come out of this book, try. Step out of the book and go within yourself. Know who you are. Know by asking, who am I? Start asking these questions, Troy. Ask yourself. I'm talking to you, Troy, because I'm talking to you, but I'm talking to us. Are you getting me, Troy?
Yes, I'm with you, caller.
You know, it is really sad that a young woman has to come to such a death, like, you know, at the prime of her life and having everything at her footsteps, and now she is unalive. She was found hanging, and she was with her fiancé, and he have walked free. Troy, there are those who say, why dance abroad before you dance a yard? Well, who is dancing a yard? They're speaking for me. And it's not that I am not concerned, Troy. I am aware of what is taking place here. St. Kitts and Nevis, the Caribbean. But there is a bigger picture, Troy. A bigger picture that has fragmented us, and they are feeding off of our energy today, Troy. I hope our people are listening, because it is time for us to wake up and recognize our reality. Thank you for hearing me, Troy.
Abi, thank you for bringing that to us. And according to what I'm checking, she was 31 years old, and her fiancé, he has had his passport withheld by the local police. And he has been speaking, and he has issued, well, he has been speaking to the police. He's 45, Joe McCain, and no arrests have been made as yet, because obviously they'll have to do their investigations with the personal persons of interest, as it is termed. And he is at the moment assisting them with their investigations. At the end of it, which then the investigations are going, at the end of it, they will determine if he should be charged or whatever, however the case may be. It's unfortunate, extremely unfortunate, and I do extend condolences to her family, relatives, and friends, irrespective. And it's unfortunate, the death in the first instance, and the comments, notwithstanding that she married someone of a different race. I mean, where do we get off making comments like that? It could have been one of us. It could have been our sister, brother, or some family member. I mean, the death of any human being, it's not a good thing. Of course, if one is found guilty for whatever crime and sentenced to death, etc., etc., that's a different kettle of fish. But when it comes to homicide, I am not supporting that. Good morning, caller. Welcome to Island here on FM 98.9.
Good morning, Troy.
Good morning, sir.
Greetings once more in the name of Jesus Christ, the only Savior of sinners from the sins and from hell, by the gospel only, through faith only, according to the Bible only, in Jesus only. Now, and Jesus is the second person of the eternal Trinity. Now, let me say this. Really and truly, Troy, this concept of biological races of human beings, physical races of human beings, is not real. It is a social construct that has caused many evils. But biologically, and above all else, biblically, there is no such things as biological or physical race among human beings. Now there are two races. Now there is one race biologically. That's the human race. And spiritually, there are two races. The children of God and the children of Satan. If you are not saved, you are of the children of Satan. If you are saved, you are of the children of God.
So Greg, how do you, sorry to intrude, but how do you see Negroids, Caucasians, etc.? How do you refer to those, the ethnicities?
The ethnicity?
Yes. Won't you consider them different races?
No.
What do you consider them?
Just fellow human beings. Just fellow human beings. And some of the time, for communication sake, I may say a quote-unquote white person or a quote-unquote black person, that sort of stuff, you know. But human beings, scientifically and most of our biblically, when it comes to the physical, biological aspects of human beings, there are only one race. Sorry, there is only one race, and that is the human race. This thing about the white race or Caucasian race and Negroid race and Indian race and our Chinese race and all those sort of stuff, those are just social constructs. They are not biological, and most of all, they're not biblical, because we all come from Adam and Eve. We could all interbreed with each other, that sort of stuff. So, and not only that, since they have cracked the human genome, they have found that we are all, well, I think they say 99% genetically identical. We all are. So, therefore, that argue against the idea of any physical race or biological race among human beings. Now, let me also say this. If a person is a true Christian, they're going to see all people as fellow human beings, because we all come from Adam and Eve, no matter what color they are. And not only that, you're going to look, once you are mature in the Bible, filled with the knowledge of the Bible, you are going to look at people, no matter what quote-unquote color they are, or skin hue that they are, you're going to look at them as closer to you as brothers and sisters than those who are not Christians, irrespective of their skin hue or quote-unquote color. These are things to remember. And people also got to realize, because some people just say, oh, no white person gone dead for a black person. Well, let me say this. The quote-unquote white persons, a number of them, many of them, have died for black people in fighting against slavery and that sort of stuff, including those who partake in the Underground Railway and who were abolitionists as well. They died in the fight and in the struggle for black people to end slavery and that sort of stuff. So we don't make some stereotypes with the broad brush things. That ain't true. That ain't so. You know, and in this day and age of the internet, lack of knowledge is more choice than anything else. Because information is there at your fingertips on any and every subject.
But at the same time, Greg, information in some cases quite contradictory. Some persons may have one view, they are pushing one argument, but another set of persons pushing an argument which is in some cases slightly different, in other cases quite varied. Have you had those experiences that at the end of the day you're not certain who to believe?
Well, yes, in many different fields there are different schools of thought, okay? Different theories, that sort of stuff. So what you got to do, you have to look at a sub-issue or subject from more than one aspect, from more than one source, to see which is the more strongly corroborated. Okay? And those quote-unquote white people who have been shown to have died in the fight against slavery for black people, okay, I haven't heard those things refuted. For example, John Brown was a white man, and he died fighting for black people. As a matter of fact, one time, well, I think it was in his last battle that he fought for black people to be freed. He invited many black people to join him in the struggle against the white man, and John Brown himself being a white man. And many of them refused to go and fight for their own freedom, while John Brown and I think a few others still went and fight for black people, even though many had refused to stand by his side. You know? So, and I haven't heard that history being rebutted by anybody. So, you got to look at different facts from different sources and see which is the most corroborated and which seem to be the most authentic. That sort of stuff. So, you know, like I said, we don't make too many broad brush statements and that sort of stuff. And therefore, such things as interracial marriage and that sort of stuff are nothing but myths, because there's no such thing as a biological races. Such thing that doesn't exist. So we got to know. And lastly, I want to say.
Yeah, I was just about to tell you have 30 seconds.
Yeah, yes. Lastly, I want to say all these problems that we are having in this world, these wars and this sort of stuff, is because we are all greedy and disobedient to the word of God. Yes, thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Greg, for listening to Win FM 98.9 in the first instance, and secondly, for always calling and making your contributions. Of course, it's not everybody who may very well agree with what you're saying in whole or in part, and nonetheless, Win FM 98.9 allows you to express your view, whether it's far and different, once it's not libelous, and of course, once you could substantiate, forgive me, substantiate your facts. As we say good morning to this caller, welcome to Island to you live on Win FM 98.9.
Good morning.
Morning, sir. How are you?
I'm good.
Yes. Is this the caller from yesterday?
I don't think so. Hello?
Oh, okay. Yes,
Okay.
we're hearing you. Proceed, sir.
I'm saying, concerning the beach, I think you got to. Concerning the beach, what's going on Friars, it is wrong. What makes it wrong is that we, the people, the ordinary people, the foundation of this tourist industry, forget the strip with Island and they who start what is now, the people on Friars Bay who started then what is now before they were removed. I'm saying, today we come forward when people are looking at who they refer to as investors. So we bring in the investors because it's the message we are sending. And when the foreigners come, we displace the indigenous people. People are making it political. It is political. But it is not Labour, PLP, or whoever else we choose to bring in. No. It's politics of rich and poor. It's the politics of wrong and right. It's the politics of who should live and who must die. Is the politics of color, is the politics of oppression. I am saying the people who invested over there, like Marcy, my brethren, for over 20 years, what he has established over there is not just for somebody to come and say, put up a bar. It's not a bar. Why can't we all live together? Why is it every time the man comes with the most money, the man with the least amount of money must go? Is this place push out? No. It cannot work. It's Ubuntu. All or none got two meanings. Either you want all or you ain't want none, which is greed. All or none is Ubuntu. It's one eat, all must eat. Is enough to share. We are the people on all the beaches, Long Beach, Rigonia and Shell and all the beaches. The local people who set up shop, who actually was the source of attraction. We ain't want it no more. So you're going to take man, throw them out of work. I mean, destroy their whole life investment and tell them what? They must go see if they get a work. There is a great wrong. It's injustice.
Caller, is it that okay, the caller has gone, but is it really a case that they have been thrown out of a work, so to speak, according to that caller? Or isn't it that they are being asked to relocate? Can you move your business from where it is now to some other place, point B, from point A to point B? So it's not that they're told to close up shop and go look another work, so to speak. I think the qualms with all of this is the fact that they have been there for 20, 30 years, whatever the case is. They've built an identity in that location. They've created an experience for nationals and the visitors alike. And now they've been asked to relocate. And this is something that has been going on for a few years. It just didn't start, in all fairness, under the Labour administration. It started back in 2018. We've heard of situations where the then PLP, CCM, PAM government, the unity government, would have been communicating with the bar owners about moving. Good morning, caller. You're live on WinFM 98.9.
Hello, good morning. I bring peace to you from Constituency 7, and I bless you, and I pray Jesus Christ blessings and mercy and grace on our federation.
Thank you, sir.
I just called to say one thing. You're welcome, sir. I just called to say we are in the period where we're celebrating the birthday of our first Prime Minister and the father of independence of our beloved nation and our only living national hero. And I go and I tell people about it. You know what? You could talk about someone when they're not here and give them the history. But when we have persons, I think we should use them. Because you know what? Every single one of us gets older every day.
Correct.
And according to the scriptures, it brings wisdom. You know that. Age brings wisdom because you will, not your personal life experience, sometimes the Muslim, but others, and you could tell the story like how our country used to be. And I am happy that our Prime Minister, our Governor General, our head of state and our head of government were there to celebrate with him and our Deputy Prime Minister and other persons. And even I shouldn't forget, because I went to the function they had on the Saturday, and I met the Deputy Governor General from Nevis. And I think sometimes that person did not get as enough mention in our talk. But yes,
correct. Publicity.
I was so happy to meet her there. And you know what? It was amazing to see our Governor General, our Prime Minister, our Deputy Governor General for Nevis, and our Premier, and our only living national hero at the same location.
Could you,
caller,
for persons who may not know, could you please indicate where was the celebration, when, and what it was about, please?
Okay, it was at the Marriott, St. Marriott, and it was celebrating the 90th birthday of our national hero, Sir Kennedy Simmons, and it was Saturday past.
Okay, thank you very much.
And it was a very nice function. I was so happy to see our leaders there, both our head of state, our head of government, and the representative, the governor, the Deputy Governor General for Nevis, and the Premier of Nevis, and other government officials and even our Taiwanese friends who were there in celebrating with Sir Ken. And I'm so happy, and our political leader was there as well, other members. And, you know, it was just across the section respect. And I so happy that person was recognized because even Sir Ken himself, he prefer to be just an asset for the nation. Anybody come and talk to him because he would have done his thing. But, you know, of course, you know, there are certain things he would like and so on. And the family was there giving support. And I knew him since I was small. So when I see things like these, I appreciate it, and I just want our younger persons to know of these people. Because I could tell the story about him and all of our Governor General, even Sebastian, Dr. Sebastian. Arundel, I met these persons, I worked with them. But our young people didn't have that experience. And sometimes a lot of our persons have more knowledge of other countries than our own. And I'm just calling that school are going to start. And I know on the agenda there might be something, but I'm just calling. I sure Sir Ken wouldn't mind to meet, whether it's the college, the Fitzroy College, the high schools, the primary schools, even business places, to meet people. Because what happened? A lot of persons hear of him, but have no idea of who he is. And I think we shouldn't wait until he's gone to have all kind of photos or kind of around the place, but for him to be in person. Give him an invitation. But of course, because of his age, it will have to be with his timing. But I believe that person should know our people. Even the Deputy Governor General for Nevis. A lot of people don't know, and I believe that there's certain functions and so forth. Not only the name should be called, and you know, we see the photos around the place. These things are important. You go to other countries, and you're not the mayor of London. You're not the mayor of New York. You're not the mayor of all these big cities. But our own persons we know nothing about. And I think it's about time we give our people the recognition. Because you know what? You know what that does? You get other persons to want to be the governor general. You get other persons who want to be the deputy governor general. You get other persons who want to be prime minister, premier, and get involved in politics. Because it's a way of life. And sometimes persons do not know, but it's not all politicians are the same. You know, and certain person might say differently, but it boils down to an individual. You know, so I just want us to recognize our people and give them what's due. But since we have our only living national hero here, is to let as much persons know them. Even our sports heroes, let them get to know them. You know, our journalists, because all these are career paths. Let people get to know our super engineers, super lawyers, and all these kind of people. I'm just using a word because I want to put them in a bracket where when you go to other countries, persons who would have done extraordinary things, they have a prominent place and thing for them. You know, so I just want our people, even our young lady who played the cricket, I think she might have been the first female and even reached that far. Something special should be there for her and all these kind of things. These are the kind of things I'm talking about. You know, we have our swimming thing. You know, let's get these things going. And anybody in sports, you know, let people get to know these things because you know what? Every single day, you and I and everybody are building a legacy. Individually, family-wise, village-wise, and country-wise. And to a certain extent, it boils into regional as well. Yes, sir.
I take it that you're suggesting something like a school tour. I like the idea with the students knowing these persons of interest, so to speak, who have made significant contributions in whatever sector or whatever area in our society. So I take it you're suggesting that these individuals, of course, with proper planning and administration execution, they visit schools and introduce themselves, etc., etc. Is that what you're suggesting, basically?
Yes, sir. And you know what? Let the children have photos. You know what? Pictures are photos, and these pictures last a very long time. And that is history. I can tell my children, look here, I was here with the only living national hero. When he's dead, you cannot say that. But when he's alive, take photos. Photos last a long time. And you could tell your children, your grandchildren, and even sometimes you go to look here.
30 seconds, please,
grandfather was with our only living national hero. You know, these things go along well. And people, you knew our national hero? Of course. I met him, I spoke with him, I touched him. He touched my face.
Well, the photo ops might probably have to be a group photo because you're going to a school with 300
That's what I'm talking
children.
about, group.
Class
But you know what?
6-1 or six
Some of
two,
these,
etc.
yes, but you know what? Some of these persons wouldn't mind. Some persons come and have a selfie, an individual picture, because you know what? You might be surprised. I mean, you're older person like us, and you know there's some persons, especially when you have children and grandchildren, when they see children, check the faces or something. The face light up, the energy that they get from being around young people. So you might be
Wrap up.
surprised.
Could you wrap up
to
first, please,
see,
caller?
yes, I'm going to do that just now. But you might be surprised to see what those visits can do to our people. And I could recall when I was a police officer, because I used to be a police officer, those of you who don't know, and visit that government house. Tourists used to come up and take photos.
Do you mind giving
with
us
the
your
police
name
here.
so people could put a voice to the face and the uniform? As you said, you're a police officer.
My name is Lincoln David Pell. I am one of the deputy political leaders for the People's Action Movement, and I was a police officer for a while, and I show photos all the way around the world. For me, I do not know. But you know what? Just like how Buckingham Palace and all these other countries would have their changing of the guard and places to take photos. People go to those countries just for that. And they make those countries, you ever hear the amount of millions of dollars
Wrap up, please, caller.
the British make for persons coming and take the photo of changing of the guard at Buckingham Palace?
Yes, sir.
I think these are some other avenues we can do for our country.
Okay.
So I just want to say, let us give recognition to our people, and that in itself could be motivation and encouragement for our young persons to get involved and to see why they should be involved, because they too can be a national hero.
Thank you
So
very
God
much, caller.
bless us, God bless St. David, and of course, God bless constituency never said.
Thank you very much, caller, for sharing your view. Quite interesting indeed. I like the idea about the school tour. As we go to this caller and say, good morning, caller, you're live on Island T here on Win FM 98.9.
Good morning, brother. Good morning. Yes, good morning, brother Biff. Good morning to all the listeners.
Good
I
morning,
am going to elaborate on the Friars Day issue. And the thing that I clearly want to understand is, let me just make this commentary. Do you know there is a saying? Some people like the grounds to clear, and monkey come and run on. You clean the grounds and monkey run on it. You plant your food, you plant whatever, and monkey come and reap your harvest. Now, the timeline between the establishment of the bars on Friars Bay versus the sale of those lands to the Ritz Carlton. Now, I looking at this, and I believe this situation has been handled in a biased and selfish way, because negotiation and understanding is lacking. If these guys who were established on the bar before the Ritz Carlton, and like the saying, the beaches cannot be sold, the beaches belong to the people of the Federation of St. Kitts and Nevis. So definitely, that is out of the table, out of bounds for selling. Wherever the boundary line of the survey is for the Ritz Carlton, I know they can't buy the beach. If the bar guys are on the beach, now the Ritz Carlton that bought that plot of land, why couldn't they incorporate the bar people into the establishment so that these people can continue to make a living? The Ritz Carlton can't make everything. Everybody have to live. And just like the Rasta man was speaking a while ago before, Mr. Pell, I agree with his perspective, because everyone have to get along, everyone need to eat, everyone have to make a food. But the rich just want to kick or the supporting towards the rich to push the poor man aside. That's the man living. And if the man established over there, he has a brand just to establish that area and have people patronize his business. If he have to relocate to another place, okay, you know how hard it will take to re-establish? The man clean the grounds and the monkey coming to run on it. Or they all have to get along and see how things can work moving forward. But to regardless of what was the notice of vacate, they should have think about incorporating everyone to get together in harmony and everyone live. That's my take on that. But and also the thing that happened a couple of days ago with the generators has been moved and water line has been cut from that establishment. That's a criminal act. If it's the government do it, they are wrong. And they should be sued and they should be compensated.
Caller, I gather it from what we have seen and heard, it is not the government. The government had no part in that.
So I didn't say the government or not. I said if it is the government, somebody had to have an order. I mean, who citizen will just take this up on their own to make that move against that establishment? Who? Unless there was some kind of organized situation.
But it doesn't necessarily mean, Carla, that the government was involved or would have been involved or given any instructions.
So with the respect, I am not blatantly saying the government.
No, you said if it were. And yes, we don't know if it was. And if it were, I could understand that clearly. But I'm trying to say I do not believe that the government would have been involved in that, in all fairness.
Okay. It should remain to be known. So,
of course.
Because here is it. The AG served letters, the AG officer served letters to the bartender. And yes, he being stubborn not to heed the order. And who else would go on their own to take up on that gesture quest to vandalize and deprive the man business? I mean, this is wrong regardless to who do it. The man is not pleased. I am not pleased. And I'm pretty sure majority of people, not just in St. Kitts and Nevis, will not condone to that behavior. And I condemn that. Too much wrongness going on, too much vigilante, and too much injustice. And people got to go into their mind, we are human. And we came in this world with nothing, and we leave with nothing.
Exactly.
Naked we come and naked we go. And I leave it right there. Thank you for the time, brother.
Thank you very much for your views, caller. And perhaps this beach thing is going to be one of the discussion topics for a little while yet. And the caller made a point. Chances are quite a few persons, I believe, they have heard of it and they have formed an opinion. There is a saying, he who sees wrong, well, I'm paraphrasing, he who sees wrong and does nothing about it, basically, he or she is supporting that wrong and may very well be part of it. So what we're going to do, we're going to go to a break right now, and we will be right back. We have to go and big up our sponsors and thank them for making this show possible. So stick and stay. Don't go away. We will be right back after a few ads.
Found the sound 99.9 FM.
Here are your hosts for Value Match IGA Blue Tag Special.
Running April 2nd to April 15th.
Post family size honey bunches of oats and Pebble cereals $19.99. Quaker Oats regular and quick $19.99. Essential everyday chunk and shredded cheeses just $7.99. Blue Bunny ice cream $25.99. IGA or essential everyday frozen waffles $19.99. Arm & Hammer liquid detergent just $39.99.
And now our value deals. IGA Essential Everyday Mac and Cheese $2.99. IGA Essential Everyday Canned Tuna $3.49. Essential Everyday Breadcrumbs $9.99. Essential Everyday Barbecue Sauce $7.99. The Colgate Toothpaste $6.99. The Colgate Toothbrush medium and soft $4.99. Shop smart, shop value mart. Tell them in Spanish.
Sea listo y haga sus compras aquí en
Value Mart.
If you need protection, you need one who you can trust to secure TDC Insurance is your go-to insurance company for all your insurance needs. We take pride in offering you the best solutions and ensuring our customers are fully satisfied. TDC Insurance, we take good care of you, guaranteeing you peace of mind. You're always safe with us.
Unlock the secrets to a healthier you. Join Dr. Natalie Osborne every Tuesday at 8:30 a.m. on WinFM 98.9 for Weekly Dose. During this 30-minute health discussion, we aim to educate and empower our listeners on the prevention of diseases, early diagnosis, and timely intervention. Don't miss out on this informative health talk where we teach you to live your best life. Weekly Dose, Tuesdays on WinFM 98.9.
Life can throw surprises your way. Because life, it just happens. With Sagicor, I plan for life's unexpected turns and have a safety net for me and those I love. Call your Sagicor advisor or visit sagicor.com to learn more. Because, well, life happens.
Come, build with us at Hostels Building and Neva Centers. We don't just sell materials, we help you build your dreams. Whether it's a new home, a renovation, or a DIY project, we're here to make it happen. That's why we say, build with us. From foundation to finish, come to our stores where we have the best in building materials, hardware, tools, paints, expert advice, and more. Whatever you need, you can count on us. So if you're ready to get started, build with us. With Hostels Building and Neva Centers, you're not just building a structure, you're building a future. Let us help you create something amazing. Dream with us, plan with us, grow with us, build with us. Come build with us at Hostels Building and Neva Centers today. Build with us at Hostels.
When power stops, your world should not. For April, the TDC Home and Building Depot's product of the month is the GD Super Multi-Purpose Solar Generator. Instant, silent, and efficient power for your home, office, or any other space. Our 600-watt generator was $2,070, now $1,182. The 1500-watt was $2,772, now $1,965. And our 3000-watt powerhouse was $6,405, now $3,960. Finish your projects, continue your business, enjoy your life. Available at the TDC Home and Building Depots on St. Kitts and Nevis and at shoptdcgroup.com.
We're back. Welcome back to Island here on WinFM 98.9. And we must thank our sponsors indeed for making this show possible. Let's go to the line and say good morning, caller. Welcome to Island Tea. You're live on WinFM 98.9. Okay, we seem to have lost that caller. And we have to big up our sponsors. Really, I am big on sponsorship and I am big on recognizing sponsors. Without sponsors, most things cannot happen, and especially to the extent the planners, the organizers would want them to happen. So it is also necessary to come on board and be a good corporate citizen. TDC, Horsfords, Rams, we Sagicor, St. Kitts and Nevis Lottery, we say thank you very much for being a part of the WinFM 98.9 family. Just before we went to the break, I was saying I do not believe this bar thing is going away, and persons who see wrong and say nothing about it, are they not just as guilty of persons who are doing the wrong? Good morning, caller. Welcome to Island here on WinFM 98.9. You're live.
Yeah, Bill?
Yes, sir.
It's me again. I want to read a little something that I come across on the St. Kitts Nevis Times on their WhatsApp channel. This is something, a little thing I'm going to read from what they have written. The St. Kitts Nevis Times. Farmers forced out. Government accused of crushing small man again. Scenes out of Keyon are heartbreaking. Farmers scrambling to prematurely harvest crops after sudden notice that lands will be excavated immediately. No clear relocation plan, no fair compensation, just urgency and uncertainty. This mirrors the looming demolition of small businesses at Friars Bay. And lastly, they said, after 4 years of stalled promises, the Joe administration now appears desperate to force projects ahead at the expense of the very people it vowed to uplift. So this is something that I've just read from the St. Kitts Nevis Times, that about small farmers in Keyon seem to be going on at this moment. I do not know the truth of it, but it's something I think that we need commenting on, and government should also clear up this matter as well. Seem very, very sad. And by the way, it has been mentioned on this program that it was Arthur Sharp who went with the generators to the police station. I think he put them at the
sorry, caller, the fire station. My apologies, Greg. That was not intentional whatsoever. But you may be able to call back. And yes, it was mentioned that in a video clip. And what you have just read about the land in Keyon and the farmers, I did see that as well. And from my understanding, they were given a particular time to vacate the land. And my further understanding is it is needed for the development in terms of building homes, building houses. So is the time, the question is, how long were they given? Is that time adequate? And you mentioned no proper solution. We are moving you from point A and we are asking you to continue your business at point B. So those are the questions we need to ask as we go to this caller and say, good morning, caller. You're live on Island here in WinFM 98.9.
Yeah, good morning, Biff.
Good morning,
to
sir.
you and the listeners. Yes, let me get straight to it. You know, sometimes you may do something wrong, and then you try to ignore it. You know, it's always good to say I'm sorry, man, and then we can move forward after that.
Indeed.
Whether I'm saying sorry to a man or I'm saying sorry to a lady, as in a wife or a girlfriend or other. We got to keep that in mind. And, you know, we call in a lot on these shows, and, you know, we have varied opinions and views. And we must not seek to attack each other, but to, you know, work through the situations, whether we get into that debate, yeah or nay.
And of
pros and cons.
And of course, try to provide solutions, recommend solutions.
Yes. And with that said, there was a gentleman that used to call in from the UK. He had a situation, I think, with his daughter, trying to get her to become a citizen. And yes, and also I think to get a passport. You remember that person?
I don't remember the name of the person, but I remember the situation. And
yes.
he tried, and he became frustrated with the efforts. Well,
yes,
or the slow pace, if any pace at all.
Yeah.
Yes. I remember.
And I would have liked to hear from that person, man, to know if he got his situation worked out or what.
That's a good question.
There's an issue that one of my brethren in the village there in Cotton Ground, they always asking me about. Do persons, citizens of St. Kitts and Nevis who was born before 1983, do they still have a chance to apply and acquire a UK passport? And a lot of issues that's underground, like we go straight to the Friars Beach Bay bars over there. A lot of that type of stuff is like legal issues. And the persons who have the expertise, that, yeah, now I'm mentioning the legal issues, right? But sometimes they have financial issues that comes up. We need to hear from these persons that got the expertise. I made some observations. The radio stations in the Federation of St. Kitts and Nevis appear to be, this is just perception. You're looking at it like as if like they're party radio stations, and the callers down to along that line. Somebody who is perceived to be a labor person, they might not call on here that much, or not at all. There's a few podcasts that's going on where we can interact with the hosts, and you would not hear from other persons who may not be aligned with those persons who are having their own podcasts and stuff like that. You know, that type of stuff, Biff, is not showing maturity. You know what I'm saying? If I'm a supporter of labor and I see my government going wrong, I should be able to critique them. As well as if, you know, I have an issue and I want to hear it out on the radio, I should call on the radio station, no matter which station it is. And the last part of what I really want to say is, in the United States, we see a lot of stuff being challenged in the courts here. And I'm not seeing that in SKN. I'm not seeing that happening in St. Kitts Nevis. When the legal issues come up, we need to have the lawyers. What I would like to see happen is some type of organization needs to be set up to challenge the government when the legal issues comes up. And the lawyers, them underground, should have the courage to do that. You know what I mean? We have a lawyer fraternity or the Bar Association, but I don't hear or know of there's an entity that can challenge the government when the legal issues come up, where we should fight against the government for the citizens' rights and whatever. So I would like to see something like that happen if there's not an entity that's there to do that. And as well as a group of persons need to be looking at the injustices, the humanitarian injustices and stuff like that, like activists per se for human rights and justice. You know, I'm not seeing those things happening in St. Kitts Nevis, and I need to see steps taken to get those things in place. So when the legal issues come up to challenge the government, we need to have a group of lawyers that should come forward and do that on behalf of the people. And I'll leave it there, Biff. Thanks a lot.
Before you went off, caller, I understand clearly what you're saying. I think it's a good idea. But what jumped out at me, perhaps could it be that we're not seeing so many items going towards litigation because of financial reasons? Party A, though they may have a solid case, they may not have the finances to engage lawyers. And I take it that is what now you're saying, that these group of lawyers should be bonded to take these cases pro gratis, pro bono. Is that the line you're going down?
Yes, that's correct. Whether they take things up on themselves or when individuals have their issues with the court system. You know, because you see, as far as Beach Bay bars, there's a lot of debate about that. I mean, I made an inquiry yesterday about them taking up the offer to move to a different location, but still, the legal issues about the wrong and rights of that situation still exist. You know, and I wanted to mention something. Right, this is something kind of risky, but I don't know if I mention something, if the person will get upset. But there's a bar on Nevis, Sunshine's Bar, and why can't we get him to come on the air and, you know, maybe speak in that regard? I mean, did he buy that land? How did he exist over there on Nevis for all this time? Did he buy the land that he is operating on? You know, because we know that there's a hotel right next to him, a 4-5-star hotel at Four Seasons. I mean, can we find out what's going on the Nevis end and see if we can get him to maybe speak up in this regard? Because these beach bars seems like they're colleagues, like of him, like the same type of entity operating on the beach area. I mean, I just wanted to get the ramifications around how is Sunshine was able to survive over there on Nevis as opposed to the Friars Beach Bay bars. And then I'll leave it there, man. I hope you don't get upset at me mentioning his name, but, I just wanted to get some information to come forward, and then we can try to hammer this stuff out. And I'll leave it there. Thanks a lot.
Thanks a lot. And I think that's a good idea, trying to get him to come on here. And we're going to try reach out to him and see if we could get him to share his view, how he has survived, how he went about it. As we take this other caller. Good morning, caller. You're live on Island T here on WinFM 98.9.
Thank you again, Brother Biff, to allow me. Good morning, Mr. Jones. As I will stand behind you in some of your perspective. Now, when it comes around legal issues, where you have a good case, as Mr. Biff might said, and due to the fact that you may have financial issues to challenge that quest or adversary, I think the government should have a leeway for people who find themselves in that situation. Up here in the United States, we say pro bonos, okay? And pro bonos will take your case, whether it's against the government or whatever entity, providing they see your case, they analyze your case, is worthy of an appearance or a legal argument. And that's what we don't find incentives. And if it is, should there be knowledge to the people to be aware if they are financially down, that they could go these channels? Because imagine the government seems to be the dominator of things. You may have a good case against the government, but because you don't have any money, you can't challenge them. That is so wrong. The government is supposed to be for and those against. Those for yea and those for nay. So if that establishment is there, it should be knowledgeable to the public so that everyone have a free standing to state their claim in the court of law for justice. So people, all of you who are listening, find out if your country, your government allows such a thing. And if it's not, it shouldn't be. It cannot be one side. It should be for the yea and the nay. Thank you, Brother Biff.
Thank you, caller. But he has left. I was about to say there is an office, legal aid. There's a legal aid office here in St. Kitts. It's stationed in St. Kitts. I'm not certain if there's a branch in Nevis, and it is for persons who may not be able to be in a position to afford a lawyer. Obviously, there are criteria. I suspect your economic standings might be part of it, but I'm thinking that a representative from the legal aid, that would be a good person to be on the show, so we could indicate, find out, have the public be informed what they do, how they go about their business, and very importantly, the criteria for them to become involved. So that is something, that's the second person we're going to look at, and we have lost that caller. So thank you very much for your suggestions, caller, and along with Ball. Let us take this call. Good morning. You're live on WinFM 98.9 Island T.
Try quickly. Thank you for taking my call again.
Yes, sir.
This is Journey. Now, I'm going back to your second caller after I made my comment this morning. Now, he stated that we all came from one race, the Adam human race. Now, follow me on this try, and I hope Gregory is listening. Now, according to what is in the book, Moses, now let me deal with before Moses, Adam. Adam and Eve got two sons. Cain took Abel's life. Cain was cast out as a vagabond. Now, pay attention to this, Troy. Adam and Eve got two sons. Nothing else was mentioned after the two sons of Adam and Eve except for Cain killing Abel, Cain Cain became a vagabond. He was marked and he was cast out. And it says that Cain went down and found himself a wife and built a nation. Where did Cain got his wife from if Adam and Eve were the first two and only got two sons, Troy? Now I want our people to pontificate on this. Now, moving further into the literature of the book, Troy. Moses came on the scene, and we know the story of Moses. God called him to the burning bush and all of that and said, go into Egypt and free my people. Moses married an Ethiopian woman, and it was okay. We're dealing with race here, Troy. Moses, being an Israelite, married to an Ethiopian woman. And I think even before Moses, I think the same Abraham also had, I can't remember the other woman that Abraham married to, not the mother of Isaac. There was another woman that Abraham married to. But let me deal with the Moses. Moses married to an Ethiopian woman, and Aaron's sister Miriam spoke against it. We're dealing with race, Troy.
Mm-hmm.
But that was okay. It was okay with the biblical God. You go further down into the book, and forgive me for not having the accuracy of this history that is in the book. An Israelite married outside of Israel, and I think maybe Greg can correct me or shed light to this, but further down there was an Israelite that married outside of Israel, and I can't remember if it was either the wife or the husband that married outside of Israel. God struck that individual, the same biblical God. I'm saying all of this to say that we are talking about race, and like Greg say, we are all the human race. But then let's go back to what God said to Cain after Cain killed Abel. God said to Cain, you are not my son. Had you been my son, you wouldn't have killed your brother Abel. You are of your father, the devil, the wicked one. What is God saying there? But try, let us look at the writers who put this there, who claim that they were wholly inspired. They claim they were wholly inspired by the biblical God. Then I ask the question, Troy, moving back to Moses freeing the Israelites out of Israel, that the Egyptians were having under servitude, bondage, slavery. And God put forth his hand and struck the Egyptians for enslaving his people. Then I ask you and Greg and Mrs. Henry and all of them the question. God annihilate the Egyptians for enslaving his people. When are we going to get justice for our enslavement, Troy? Are we free? Are we free, Troy? Because, like I said to you earlier, 9 to 5 is a system that the rulers of this world, the offspring of colonization, have me going into 9 to 5 that have taken me away from nature. The provision that was made by the Most High in nature, Troy. This system of economics.
But don't you have a choice, Scholar, of doing that 95 or doing something within nature? This
is their world. And like they said, be in the world but be transformed. But Troy, you see, this is deep. This psychological defeat that we are experiencing, this is deep, Troy. Yes, you might think I have a choice, but I have to survive. But I came with it. Generation before me have dealt with it. They lived and they died. But this is where I'm trying to share logic and enlightenment to this system that we can return and reconnect. Because try, none of us brought anything here. The provision was made for us in all the earth, where the Most High gave us herb for meat. Look at the animals, try. They neither toil nor spin, yet they are fed. But we, who represent the image of the Creator, and let me say this, Joy, this biblical God, the biblical God and the devil are one in the same. We have hot and cold, which are both temperature. The biblical God is spirit or flesh warring against spirit. They are one in the same. Jesus never said to the devil when he was in the wilderness tempted, get away from me. He said, get thee behind me. You are of the lower self.
30
the
seconds.
devil and God are one in the same.
30 seconds, please,
and,
Father.
and yeah, I'm going to finish now. And all is in duality within man, flesh. Man is capable of being God. Man is capable of being the devil. Let Greg come and share like too, who Cain married to, if we all came from Adam and Eve. I'll leave it there.
Thank you very much, caller. And that is a point I often wondered. The Cain and Abel and then going off and getting married, which suggests that there had to be other persons somewhere. And it's always a good topic for discussion. But we're going to go to a break and stick and stay. Don't go away. We will be right back after these ads.
WINN is 98.9. 98.9 is Win FM.
When power stops, your world should not. For April, the TDC Home and Building Depot's product of the month is the GD Super Multi-Purpose Solar Generator. Instant, silent, and efficient power for your home, office, or any other space. Our 600-watt generator was $2,070, now $1,182. The 1500-watt was $2,772, now $1,965. And our 3000-watt powerhouse was $6,405, now $3,960. Finish your projects, continue your business, enjoy your life. Available at the TDC Home and Building Depots on St. Kitts and Nevis and at shoptdcgroup.com.
Heritage matters to me. Heritage matters to you. Join me, Percival Hanley, this coming Friday and every other Friday at 10 a.m. to 12 noon for Heritage Matters on Win Media SKN 98.9. Heritage matters to me. Heritage matters to you.
Ready to play, match, and win? With Caribbean Numbers, you can turn your favorite numbers into big cash prizes up to $20,000. For as low as $1, pick your numbers, play your way. Quiniela, Pale, or Tripleta, there's a game for you. Then match your numbers and win cash. It's fun and as easy as 1, 2, 3. Your numbers, your way, your time. Feel the thrill in every play available from any Caribbean lottery agent island-wide. Must be 21 or older to play. Please play responsibly.
She said, drink a root boy, I will do the work. You don't have to wind up yourself. You don't have to wind up yourself. Oh, she said, drink a root boy, I will do the work. You don't have to wind up yourself. You don't have to wind up yourself. Oh, cause when we out and we active, living we life. So when we drink, when we drinking. Root boy. So when we drink, when we drinking. Root boy. Oh, Miss Lady, anyway you see we are we building up our vibes. So when we drink, we be drinking. Root boy. So when we drink, we be drinking. Root boy. Why?
Come, Build with us at Hostels Building and Neva Centers. We don't just sell materials, we help you build your dreams. Whether it's a new home, a renovation, or a DIY project, we're here to make it happen. That's why we say, build with us. From foundation to finish, come to our stores where we have the best in building materials, hardware, tools, paints, expert advice, and more. Whatever you need, you can count on us. So if you're ready to get started, build with us. With Hostels Building and Neva Centers, you're not just building a structure, you're building a future. Let us help you create something amazing. Dream with us, plan with us, grow with us, build with us. Come build with us at Hostels Building and Neva Centers today. Build with us at Hostels.
This is not a drill. Leah Air's 30-day advance sale is live right now. We're talking prices so low, you'll think we made a mistake. Spoiler alert, we did it. Want to visit Barbados? Say hello, Barbados. Dreaming of St. Lucia? Say hello, St. Lucia. Ready for Antigua? Say hello, Antigua. Here's the deal. Book your flight 30 days in advance and pay ridiculously low fares to any destination in our Caribbean network. That's it. No gimmicks, no catches, just incredible savings. But here's the thing, seats are filling up fast, like last roti at lunch fast. So what are you waiting for? Your Caribbean getaway is just 30 days away and is more affordable than ever. Visit www.flyleatair.com. Call 1268-713-5428 or see your travel agent today. Book 30 days ahead and save big. Liat Air, pride of the Caribbean.
Good morning and welcome back. We have a caller on the line. Caller. Okay, let us go to this caller. Good morning, caller. You're live on Island here in Win FM 98.9.
Morning, Miss.
Morning, sir. How are you?
Yes, I'm good. That issue raised earlier, I think, it's so important. The issue of how can the ordinary citizen get redress without really severe financial impediments? Okay, and actually there are some systems in our current governance that allows for that. It's just like so many other things in government that is supposed to keep people accountable, that is supposed to make sure that citizens are served fairly and justly. They don't work. Okay? There is, for instance, an ombudsman, right? If you feel that you've been aggrieved, you're supposed to be able to go there and get some measure of justice. Okay, your case should be taken up and pursued. It's so unfortunate that ever so often in our jurisdiction, that position is really sidelined. You notice you don't hear much about it. Usually the appointments are carefully vetted so that it's not going to be somebody who's gonna want to create waves, somebody quiet and so on, you know, and that wouldn't do in these circumstances.
But if you allow me to chime in here, caller, in the instance of our current ombudsman, he is Bishop Cipriani Williams of the New Birth Baptist Church. I know that for a fact. And from what I have gathered, he is qualified. He has been certified by an English mediation authority. I can't remember which one, but I can confirm he has had some certification at in that area. What is the level? I'm not too certain. But
it's not about qualifications and certification, right?
Well, in some cases, sorry, but in some cases, we have had appointments with persons who have had no prior experience, technically no qualification in those areas, in areas.
But this is not about the current holder of the office and qualifications and so on.
The processes, right? I understand.
Because we know that government is packed with a lot of well-qualified people. I mean, even the heads of I'm not talking just about the heads of departments and so on, PSs, and I'm talking about even at the ministerial level, the ministers themselves are supposedly highly qualified and so on. Yet problems persist, okay? Because you see, generally speaking, for instance, okay, let's take the highest office, the politician in government. When you go out and campaign to be elected, you put your best foot forward. You give all kinds of fancy reasons that people fall for why they should vote for you. But somehow when you get in, it's a different agenda, all right? The powerful, you now have power and authority, and it's not everybody can use power and authority judiciously, okay? Some people abuse it, okay? Some people misuse it. And I'm saying that a lot of the systems that we have that are supposed to provide checks and balances don't work, right? And there's no motivation for the people who are in power and authority to benefit from making sure they work, because basically that involves taking away some of that power or questioning or holding them accountable for that power and authority, right? I can give you an actual case in point, okay, that there was a situation over at Frigate Bay where some homeowners protested against the abuse of the building code or the violation of the zoning laws over here. And even went so far, they did the right things, went through all the processes, wrote the letters to the relevant authorities, and didn't get appropriate responses. In some cases, no responses at all. Went to litigation. And you know what happened there? And this is what we're dealing with. What happened there is that no lawyers would take the case, because they said it would be conflict, because apparently the persons who were violating the covenant, they are big persons, very moneyed persons, okay? And so they have clout and influence and so on. Could you imagine that happening? Yes, I know it's a small community, and yes, I know there are going to be overlapping stuff where, different people want the same lawyer, etc., etc. But you want to tell me no lawyer would take the case because of that? I mean, that's almost like living in a dictatorship or some banana republic somewhere. That should not happen, okay? Right? In my estimation, it should not even reach to that. To me, as you pointed out, people with all this education and training and qualifications and so on, you would think part of all that is basic common sense, basic decency, a basic sense of justice and fairness, and they should have the temperament to resolve a lot of these issues without having even to go to litigation. You sit down and talk and discuss and thrash out and so on, and you'd think that with all that qualifications and so on, they should be able, above others, to come at some kind of amicable solution, some compromise. But it doesn't happen. That's the problem. If it does not happen, and you have to question why it doesn't happen. Why in our systems that things like this happen, even though there are supposedly checks and balances against it. You know that
indeed.
Yes.
The thing you call in terms of the settlement, finding common grounds. How many of us are in the position, to say, well, boy, he has a point. I didn't see it that way. How many of us would be able to say that, as opposed to, why no, I am right, I can't understand what he's thinking, what he's saying. Because it takes that for us to start to think about settlement, compromising. It's like an alcoholic. If you're trying to convince him that he needs help, you have to first convince him that he's an alcoholic. And if he doesn't see himself as an alcoholic, there's no need for help. So can't that be a situation with us not being objective enough, not being professional enough, not being responsible and matured enough to say, boy, yeah, he has a point, I'm not, I'm a little shaky in this area.
I understand you. I understand where you're coming from, and you're correct. But what is the first stage in even trying to arrive at some kind of negotiation or compromise? What do you think should be the first step?
Reaching out to the other party or parties involved.
Right?
You did say in some cases no responses were had.
Exactly. If you're going to be ignored from the outset, what is the point?
Yeah, you won't get to stage 2.
Exactly. You won't get to stage 2 because you haven't even gone
to you can't accomplish stage 1 as yet. Indeed.
Yes. And that is the kind of arrogance, and it's arrogance, because, like I said, and generally, I mean, people feel that I don't like government. It's not that I don't like government. I have a mistrust of government because government has power and it has the power of the collective too. Nobody needs to be held accountable. You just say, well, it's government, and government is this big, bad thing that can do what it wants, okay? And so you should challenge government. Yes, I know they're big and bad and have all kinds of resources behind them, but if you don't challenge them, all these things will persist, okay? That is what's going to happen. And I maintain that yes, everybody have their own agenda, their own biases, and so on, and will come at the problem from different perspectives. But I still say that, generally speaking, most people have common sense, even if they don't have objectivity, even if they don't have if they don't have the kind of temperament that want to arrive at a solution, and they will feel that they're right, and so since they're right, well,
no need for me to talk to you.
no movement. This, and then of course there's this might is right approach. You don't even have to be right. You just have to have the might or the clout or the influence, as in the case I mentioned, right? And when you have that, that supersedes everything else. Everything else, nothing else matters.
But we're in a society.
That is what I don't.
But we're in a society, Carla, that if we are on the same team, you're in government, I support you. Even in opposition, I support you. Once I say, why, McMahon, I don't believe this is the right thing, I think this is the better way, etc., and I don't think you did the right thing or said the right thing, then you start thinking that, why, Biff, that sounds like you ain't supporting me. Once you're being objective, the powers that be will think that, well, why, look like you want to flip to the other side, you're not one of us. And then because of that, some persons may have the inclination, well, I ain't gonna say nothing because I don't want to be accused of jumping ship, flipping the other side. And some may naturally be that, because it's my party, be the other, everything they do is right, which is unfortunate.
But Biff, you got to feel that you're God or some higher power if you're going to feel that everything you do is going to be right, that there isn't a better way, that there isn't a different way and a better way. I mean, it's the height of conceit to feel that you're all-knowing, you know everything, and so nobody else should counter what you say or do. You have to be really conceited, and I know that a lot of our influential people, or politicians, or leaders, both in public and business, public and private sectors, I know that they usually have big egos. What they do?
I think that. Well, I'm here thinking, Carla, and trying to go back several years. I don't ever recall any of our politicians, whether in opposition or government, admitting publicly, hey, I made a mistake, or we made a mistake. We did it this way because this was our thinking, but that way is the better way. So we apologize for that. I can't remember
that either.
Uh-huh.
I can't remember that, and that's the whole point.
Yes.
For some reason, they feel they're infallible.
Mm-hmm.
It's as if once elected, it's as if they're elected to a position that nobody should question. You've put your trust in me. Well, I'm going to do what I feel, as if you can't be wrong. You know, that is so, like I said, that's the height of conceitedness.
And this is where the man on the street, the yous and the me's and the hims and hers, we need to call out our politicians. Because remember, well, I shouldn't say remember, they are going to remind us 6 months before elections that we are the employers and they are the employees. And once election comes and election goes, all of a sudden you don't hear that, and they're operating as if they are the mighty ones. A case in point, I've several persons have told me, coming on to elections, the politicians drive through the community about 5-10 miles an hour, the windows down, healing up to everybody, stopping and chatting a little bit with everybody, and next thing they get into office, the windows are up, they're driving through the villages, and they're always on the phone. So they don't have time for the common man. And I've witnessed that. I've seen that with our politicians.
Everybody has seen that.
And it's unfortunate.
They become inaccessible to most voters after they become elected. They're not inaccessible to everybody. They're people who they feel can promote them or support them, whether support their campaigns or in whatever other way would be of benefit to them. Oh, they're accessible to them. No question about that. But I've seen, just like everybody else, that this thing where, you know, phone numbers change and as you pointed out, all of a sudden, you know, you have to schedule what it is, a monthly, what you call it, where they meet the representative, those kinds of things after. And you know what's funny? This does not depend on which administration is in power. Every last one of them are like that. And you have to wonder what it is about our system that breeds that type of leadership, that encourages that kind of leadership style. You know, that after you win, that's it. You know, you've arrived, you don't listen to anybody, or you just listen to a few closer people around you, and you forget that it's a whole country that that was involved in putting you into office. You know, and that's why, again, I said, just like I said, was it yesterday? You got to be very careful with your vote, very selective. Okay, you got to remember all these things. You got to question them about these things, make them uncomfortable, right? They're not going to like the questions. They're not going to like giving the answers, and some of them might just shut up.
30
but
seconds,
you
please,
have
caller.
to probe when you get the opportunity to.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Indeed, thanks for that. And I am remembering this gentleman. We were speaking, and he told me he made an appointment to see a government minister. Actually, the government minister was his constituency rep as well. So he made an appointment to see the rep. And for several days, the rep is not in. And this particular day, he was told the rep is not in. So he went up there at government headquarters, excuse me, about 10 o'clock. And he sat there for the entire day. And when I said the entire day from, this is what he's telling me, from 10 o'clock in the morning until after 5, because there was only one way to come out the office. And he had to see the person, one entrance, one exit. So he must see if somebody come out the office. And after 5, the constituency rep, the minister who wasn't in office, came out sheepishly and saw him waiting there. I could only think what embarrassment that was for the minister, because he decided, I'm going to sit here, and whenever that minister comes in, I'll see the minister, or in the case if the minister is in there, which is unfortunate. And then let's go to this caller. Good morning, caller. Welcome to Island Tea. You're live.
Yes, Biff?
Yes, sir.
Me again. I would like to be as quick as possible.
Please, because we have to go to some ads.
Yes, so let me just load. Number one, the article that I read from, okay? The last paragraph said, after 4 years of installed promises, and what I mean by installed promises, stalled promises. After 4 years of stalled promises, the Joe administration now appears desperate to force projects ahead at the expense of the very people it vowed to uplift. So the article recognized this has been going on for 4 years, and he said after 4 years of stalled promises. What I mean by that, stalled promises, I don't know. But at least the article said that this has been going on for years. Now, quickly, concerning the issue that Johnny bring up, and I would like to say it as quickly as possible.
Thank you. Quickly indeed.
Yes. In Genesis chapter 5, verse 4, it is said Adam and Eve had children. Now, this thing, the accounts in Genesis are arranged thematically, not necessarily chronologically or by time scale. And Genesis 5, verse 4 says Adam and Eve had children. And Adam and Eve lived till to 930 years, which means they would have had a lot of time to get lots of children. We do not know what time Cain killed Abel. They could have been well in the hundreds. And by that time, many other people from Adam and Eve would also have been on the earth, including cousins. So there is no need to speculate that there's any kind of contradiction or shortcoming, or there were other people on the earth whom Adam and Eve did not give birth to and did not come from them and that sort of stuff. For what is mentioned in the text...
30 seconds, please.
For what is mentioned in the text, all of that could be well explained, that everybody came from Adam and Eve, you know. And living for hundreds of years, including Cain and Abel, easily explains everything of people being on the earth from Adam and Eve by that time, when he killed Abel. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you very much, caller. Well, that introduces an interesting point, the point of incest. Because if Adam and Eve had Cain and Abel, and over a period of time they had other children, and he went off and married, won't he be marrying to his sister or aunt or niece or the case? Well, I'm no biblical scholar, but what I can tell you, we are going to go and take some ads and say thank you to our sponsors, and we will be right back shortly.
We're different. We're 98.9. 98.9. Win FM.
John Smart.
Hosford's Value Match IGA Blue Tag Special.
Running April 2nd to April 15th.
Post family size honey bunches of oats and Pebble cereals $19.99. Quaker Oats regular and quick $19.99. Essential everyday chunk and shredded cheeses just $7.99. Blue Bunny ice cream $25.99. IGA or essential everyday frozen waffles $19.99. Arm & Hammer liquid detergent just $39.99.
And now our value deals. IGA Essential Everyday Mac and Cheese $2.99. IGA Essential Everyday Canned Tuna $3.49. Essential Everyday Breadcrumbs $9.99. Essential Everyday Barbecue Sauce $7.99. The Colgate Toothpaste $6.99. The Colgate Toothbrush Medium and Soft $4.99. Shop Smart, Shop Value Mart. Tell them in Spanish.
Sea listo y haga sus compras aquí en
Value Mart.
Do you want to know what's happening in sport? Tune in to On the Ball, a weekly tour show which is on WinFM 98.9 every Tuesday from 7 to 9 p.m. with me, your host, Troy Biff Mills. We will keep you on the ball with our variety of guests and, of course, your calls, discussing the facts and the stats and sharing your opinions. Get on the ball and stay on the ball by tuning into On the Ball with Troy Biff Mills on WinFM 98.9 every Tuesday night from 7 to 9 p.m. and also on Facebook and YouTube. Be on the ball.
If you need protection, you need one who you can trust. To secure your investment, you need one who'll do you just. TDC Insurance, you're the one that you can trust. TDC Insurance, you're always safe with us.
TDC Insurance is your go-to insurance company for all your insurance needs. We take pride in offering you the best solutions and ensuring our customers are fully satisfied. TDC Insurance, we take good care of you, guaranteeing you peace of mind.
You're always safe with us.
Buster! We run things, things are on we. Buster! Buster! Living color, do it differently. Buster! Not an in charge like for the party. Buster, Buster. We set the pace, then everybody follow it.
7 flavors, best taste. Buster, bolder, better, better. Pick your color.
We set the pace, then everybody follow it.
Buster, live in full color. Buster.
Come, build with us at Hosford's Building and Neva Centers. We don't just sell materials, we help you build your dreams. Whether it's a new home, a renovation, or a DIY project, we're here to make it happen. That's why we say, build with us. From foundation to finish, come to our stores where we have the best in building materials, hardware, tools, paints, expert advice, and more. Whatever you need, you can count on us. So if you're ready to get started, build with us. With Hosford's Building and Neva Centers, you're not just building a structure, you're building a future. Let us help you create something amazing. Dream with us, plan with us, grow with us, build with us. Come build with us at Hosford's Building and Neva Centers today. Build with us at Hosford's.
Tire treads gone? Going bald? Don't let this be you. It's time for new tires from TDC Automotive. As the month rolls along, buy 2 or more tires and get 20% off your purchase. Get more savings and safer driving for the roads ahead. Visit TDC Automotive today at Southwell Industrial Estate in St. Kitts or Penny's Industrial Estate Nevis. TDC Automotive, #1 for a reason. Terms and conditions apply. Offer valid while stocks last.
Luxury isn't just worn, it's won. Introducing the new Precious Gem Super Ticket from Caribbean Lottery. 4 games in 1 ticket, 62 chances to win, and the chance to multiply your prize up to 20 times. Scratch to reveal diamonds, rubies, emeralds, and sapphires, with prizes up to $200,000. This isn't just a scratch ticket, it's luxury in every scratch. Grab your Precious Gems Super Ticket today at Caribbean Lottery retailers island-wide. Must be 21 or older to play. Please play responsibly.
Are you tired of the same old? It's time to say hello to Shop TDC Plus, the all-new expanded shopping experience at shoptdcgroup.com. We've added thousands of new products exclusively online for your home, office, and everything in between. Browse, pick your favorites, then choose to pick up in store or get it delivered right to your door. And the best part, you can shop anywhere, anytime. No lines, no extra fees, no hassle. I'm shopping as we speak, and you should too, wherever you are. Shop anywhere, shop anytime. Visit shoptdcgroup.com today.
Welcome back to Island Tea here on WinFM 98.9. And we are now at the last leg, last lap. We've turned the last curve, so to speak. We've got 10 minutes as we go to this caller and say, good morning, caller. You're live on Island here, WinFM 98.9. Thank you very much for holding.
Good morning again, Brother Biff.
Good morning, sir, again.
I will like to utter this in an notice or inquiry to others in terms of the legal aspect of what goes on in St. Kitts and Nevis. We have lawyers. We should have arbitrators, and but also the lawyers in St. Kitts, I don't know if there is a part of the government, like you said, we were talking about pro bonos, that will take a case without, if the person is financially burdened to have their case heard in the court. So I am saying to people, if you can read and understand English, and you found yourself into a situation where you need justice, and you are getting the negative of a lawyer, or every lawyer is saying this is how much it will cost them to go to court with their case, there is a situation where you could be self-represented, and it is called legally pro se. You could represent yourself. You could file a summons and subpoena against the defendant, and whatever fees should there be needed, or there might be a waiver if you don't have the fees to file the claim. I'm speaking from the term here. So if you can't pay the court costs, you could ask for a waiver. I think they should have some documents, reason why you need a waiver. So that will cause you to be self-represented with the contemplation of a judge or the legal department, and you could represent yourself. And represent yourself, state your claim, make your argument against the defendant, and you shall be heard in court. So that is just a notice I'm giving to people.
Before you run, caller, thank you for your input.
Yeah.
The language of the court, you're representing yourself. You may very well not be familiar with that. Certain things, the way you say, and certain things, how you say certain things, you may very well not be. I understand what you're saying, and I have also, well, I know there are some prisoners who have represented themselves at the magistrate's court, and in some cases they won the cases. And
right.
In 1840, apparently, everybody shares opinions, and everybody are lawyers and share the experiences and things like that. And they have this learning fraternity in there. So, but that element of it, the man on the street, may very well not be. And I understand what you're saying. That's a good suggestion. And
that's why I'm putting it out there, because you call those people in 1840 or anywhere jailhouse lawyers.
Tamintry lawyer. Well, yeah, the man on the street is going to be a Tamintry lawyer. And, of course, there's the Google and the YouTube. There are obviously going to be hints and tips on how to do this and how to do that and etc. etc.
Yeah, and the thing is, imagine you go hire a lawyer to take your case to the court. The lawyer has to hear your story, you know,
Mm-hmm.
and then he makes his assumption from it, okay? And if the lawyer assumption is not even in line with the way you explain, and you lose the case, you could have grievance and you could file a grievance
Okay.
to be heard again and you proceed. So it's not all the time a lawyer is right.
Correct.
You could be more righter than the lawyer because they didn't handle the case that the way it should. But it's just to let the general public, I mean, those in the jail, they become more wise and they get wisdom and knowledge there.
Mm-hmm.
But regular people, you have a claim against me, you go talk to a lawyer and you get turned down, go and file, draft up your summons and subpoena, draft up the counts that you are charging the person for, and file them in the court. They can't deny it. Everyone shall be heard.
Correct. And to be honest, some police officers, the prosecutors, they are in some cases, I mean, let me say not better. They advise, quite often they advise lawyers, especially young lawyers, what they need to do and how they need to go about it. Because these police prosecutors, they are very, very, very good. And take my ex-wife, for example, Diana Mills. When she was a corporal, I think, way back when, Limor, she came up against Limor. And she was prosecuting at Sandy Point, and he defended somebody for something, I don't remember what. And she won the case, so to speak.
Yes.
And at the end of the day, Limor told her supervisor, who was the late Superintendent Powell, I forgot the first name, that take care of her because she's going to reach very far. She went on to be an assistant superintendent, and she was in charge of the prosecuting unit. So police, I said that to say,
government, right?
Yes, in the police services. And I always encourage her to study law, but I didn't do a good job with that. But they are very, very good prosecutors who advise lawyers and guide them because they come in fresh from university. Having the qualifications is one thing, you know, but the experience, that's another thing.
Absolutely.
But thank you, caller. Appreciate it as we're getting ready to wind down. It's now 4 minutes to. And it has been an interesting discussion today, varied topics. Let us squeeze in this last call. Caller, you have 37 seconds.
Yes, Biff, real quick, man. I'm trying to end off the day by saying this. You know, persons might be seeing some protests happening in the street, whether it's over on Nevis last Friday or with the DJ Marisha continually last year coming forward to this year. I want persons to know that they are well within their constitutional right to put on these marches. And I just want to encourage people to exercise their constitutional right as much as they can. Freedom of expression, freedom of speech, and freedom of assembly, especially those three. Don't be afraid to speak up, whether it be some things you are dissatisfied with at work or with the government of the day. Remember, we have constitutional rights that need to be exercised. If we want to either participate, two of the ways that I know to protest is by having these protests in the street, like we would call them marches or whatever. And also, don't forget, there's another way of protesting, which is called a boycott. So it's either we're going to protest or we're going to boycott the situation. And these rights are fundamentally guaranteed by our Constitution. We just got to go and pull out that license from the police station to have that march done. So to the persons of St. Kitts and Nevis, don't be afraid to speak up, whether you may be dissatisfied with the situation at work or with the current government of the day. Exercise your fundamental rights to freedom of speech and expression and assembly. And I'll leave it there for the day.
Thank you very much, caller. I said I would have made that caller our last, but let's give this caller 11 seconds. The last call. Good morning, caller. You have 11 seconds. Welcome to Island Tea.
Blessed love. I'm going to try my best. Usually it's a long talk, you know.
Well,
Anyway,
we have 1 minute left.
Yeah, I'm going to try my best. I listened to the whole show, you know, and we got a lot of issues to deal with, a lot of problems. Like I was saying from yesterday. By the way, this is the party from yesterday.
Yes, I picked up the voice. Thank you for calling.
Yeah, we're in a system that it wasn't created by us, it wasn't designed by us, and in the end, it ain't going to benefit us. You know what I mean? We change politicians, and it's the same thing. Because it is the design of the system. It is not the individual them who administer in it, right? But until we could see these things, we can keep repeating the same thing. We will never be moving forward. However, I would love to leave a suggestion.
And you have 5 seconds to do that, sir. 5 seconds, literally.
Yeah, and it is the way. It is simple. It is the way of Rastafari, right? Rastafari. I will leave with that in the future, right?
Okay, sir.
So I'll leave it there.
Thanks a lot for calling, and you have the privilege of being the last caller. And I thank everyone for actually calling and sharing your views on Island Tea this morning. We appreciate having you, and it was indeed a pleasure for me to be hosting. We are going to be having Cortensia back with us tomorrow morning, God's Spear, and all of you who would have viewed on YouTube and on Facebook, we're saying thank you. And we invite you to tune in again tomorrow morning at 8 o'clock when we'll bring you another edition of Island Tea on WinFM 98.9. Again, thank you. And as I slip away, I admonish you to always be positive in your thoughts, in your words, and in your actions. Thank you for viewing. Thank you for listening. Have a good day.
Found the sound.